these bad boys. Look at these bad boys. Disgusting. I still haven't taken them out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I said I was going to make another video, and I feel like I'm being consistent. So just let me live that fantasy for a little bit. In my last video, I said I was going to talk about my wisdom teeth getting taken out. And now I'm going to talk about my wisdom teeth getting taken out. So I know it's pretty wild, but I was never like taken to the dentist growing up. So once I was old enough to actually afford to go by myself, I went and I had them do, like I really wanted them to look through everything to make sure, like I wanted to know everything there was, all the issues, so I could get it all fixed at once. And when I went in, they did all the fucking stupid ass x-rays on my mouth. Super annoying. But they were nice people. I'm not going to tell you where I went, unfortunately. But they were nice. They weren't that terrible. Nobody was weird. None of the doctors were dudes, which is what I noticed. But all the ladies I interacted with, very sweet, very professional. And so that was cool. Got all my x-rays done. I had some cavities. I know, sue me. So I had I had to get a few fillings, but not like a million. I think it was like 2. And so I had to get some fillings done. And then I got my cleaning done. And then they said that in my x-rays, they could see that my wisdom teeth were impacted. So I really wish I had the picture to show you. Fuck. I should try to find the picture to show you. I could find it and probably put it up here somewhere. But it was like my tooth was on the bottom, at least, was like, here's my regular teeth, right? Like straight in a row. And then here's the wisdom tooth. And it was like, how the fuck was it? Like, oh no, all the teeth are supposed to be standing up, right? These are my teeth. My fingers are my teeth, right? The wisdom tooth was like this. And it was literally pushing against my teeth. So yeah, whenever they would shift around, it hurt like terribly. I was getting migraines and it had been getting worse. And I was like, what is going on? So I mentioned that to the dentist, and she was like, yeah, well, my hygienist. And then she was like, yeah, it's because your teeth are impacted and they can't do that surgery there. It is actually a surgery, because I guess regular wisdom teeth would just be like a procedure where they could do local anesthesia or whatever. Or I think she mentioned that they could do like laughing gas or what the fuck ever that shit is. But she was like, yeah, we could do all that. But one of the easier, cheaper options is like just local anesthesia, like with the needle. And but that is if you have like regular wisdom teeth, I think, when you catch them super early. And she was like, I recommend you getting them out sooner rather than later, because the angle of your tooth on the bottom, both of them, was to the point where if it had grown more, it would have gotten into my nerve, into the central nerve of my jaw. And then that would have really caused some damage. So that made me nervous, obviously. And like a month after, I know I waited way too long, but a month after I went to the dentist, I was like, okay, I gotta find a doctor to go to. So here's what happened. She gave me a referral to a doctor. And when I I looked him up, that's the problem. Man, just fucking go. Just find a doctor and go. And if you don't like the vibe, you don't like the vibe. But when I looked him up, I seen the reviews, and there were a few reviews saying he was the office was unprofessional. You would put a down deposit and then you would never, like, nobody would ever follow up with you on an appointment schedule, or like you would you would come in and they would be like, oh, your appointment's been rescheduled and whatever. They would just take your money, keep your money. You would never get the procedure done. And I was like, there was more than like 3 of those. And I was like, that doesn't sound great. Maybe that's just one person, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it might just be one person trying to end somebody's career, but it could just be like a bad doctor. Anyway, I got nervous about it. So I didn't go. And finally, one day I had a full-blown panic attack because the pain was so terrible. I felt like I couldn't even like close my mouth properly. Like I felt every movement in my mouth felt like just like this drilling pain, almost like there was a drill in my mouth, like in my jaw, and it hurt. And so I was like, okay, I got to do something. And I scheduled it. When did I schedule it for? Goodness. I scheduled it for the day of. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I need help, because I was like, aren't you the one who's supposed to make the appointments? And she's like, you're fucking grown. But she sent me this the first oral surgeon she could find, like it is a plastic surgeon type thing, because that's like a surgery in your face. And they also do plastic surgeries. So it was that type of shop. Not weird at all though. But I called them and I was like, hey, here's my problem. Can you guys do anything about it? And the lady was like, yes, I can see you at 1:00. And it was like 10 in the morning. And I was like, yeah, so 1 this afternoon, for real? She was like, yeah. I was like, all right, put me down for it. And so I got a ride to go there. But I'm like, right before I was going to go there, I was like, man, am I rushing this? This is going to be a lot of money. It was a lot of money. But I was like, am I rushing things? Maybe I should just hold off. And then I was like, man, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. I really just need to push myself into it. And so I went, and it was real simple. They put me in this like little chamber and I had to clamp down on something on my teeth. And then they took a CT scan, like $200. So annoying, because I was positive they already had all these x-rays from my other dentist. And I'm like, why can't we just communicate and get those x-rays? I literally was there a month ago, please. But I don't know. So, and so I went in that day, right? That afternoon, 1:00, and got all my scans done, spoke to the doctor. Doctor was like, okay, this is how it looks. Simple procedure. I'm going to take them all out at once, because it is more agonizing to go through 2 separate healing processes than it is to just one and done, and if they're really bothering you this terribly, why don't we just get them out as fast as possible? I was like, all right, sounds perfect. And then they scheduled me the next day, 6:00 in the morning. So like not even 10 hours later, I'm back. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I didn't do the math, but all I know is I was like 90. I was right back. I was right back to that place, bro. I picked up all my prescriptions, because you got to take a few pills before the procedure, and all this sort of stuff. And I picked them all up. They all went through real quick. I was like, goodness gracious, I love this. It was so streamlined, and I really loved it. And so I went in the next morning. I brought my fucking husband with me, my boyfriend, but I brought him with me, and he was going to be my driver. And so they didn't do there was no gas involved. It was all it was like they inserted, it was a drip. It was an IV drip of something. And fucking I should know, I was under. But they told me just comfy. I wear these pants, love these pants. My mom hates these pants. Don't know what's up with her about that, but she says I look some type of way. I think she's just a hater. But I wore comfy clothes, and then I went in. I was so nervous. I was for real so nervous, because like, I've never had any sort of medical treatment done before. I've never had a procedure done before. I've had my blood drawn a few times, so it was like I'm kind of used to that. But I've never really had any like surgeries done. So this was the first major one. And what they did was they took 4 vials of my blood before they put me under for the procedure, and the 4 vials of blood were to fill all 4 of the holes in my mouth that they were, where my teeth were going to be. And it's supposed to help, healing, to promote healing quicker. And so they did that, and apparently I'm terrible for drawing blood from, because it was taking forever and it was painful. I was like, bro, what's going on? But when that doctor came, I swear to you, they put a blanket on me. So sweet of them. It was very cold in the room. And doctor came in the room. The nurses, there were 2 nurses, and they were like, oh, are you ready? They asked the doctor, are you ready for the procedure? He's like, yeah. And he got the drip ready, and they inserted the needle into me and whatever. And it started dripping, and I was like, okay, I'll see, let's see how well this shit works, how effective this is, because I was really worried I wasn't going to go under. That's always everybody's concern, that they're going to feel pain, or at least that's what I was always going to be concerned about. So I was super worried that I was not going to like actually go under and it wasn't going to work, whatever. But bro, I tell you, they had a little box of my things. I mean, my phone, it was on silent, my ring, and what else was it? I think it was like my wallet. And the drip started going, and I realized, my phone, I really want that to be with my boyfriend, because just in case my mom messaged me, I want him to, whatever, because I can't really message her right now. And this drip starts going, I think maybe a few minutes, I can't recall, man. I cannot recall, but like a few minutes passed, maybe like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. And I was like, can you please go give my phone to my boyfriend, because, and can you let him know that I'm okay? Because I knew he was going to be worried about me. And one of the nurses was like, yeah, don't worry about it. And then I don't know what was even going through my head. Another nurse came in, and she mentioned my tattoo on my arm. And then I started telling her about my tattoos, and I was just talking. And then the doctor was like, all right, are we feeling good? We feeling ready? And I was like, yeah. Last thing I remember, they have to put these little blocks in your mouth to keep your jaw open while they're doing it. Last thing I remember was them putting that in. And then I was gone. But, yeah, so it was like that for a good while. I did wake up towards the end, however. I don't know why I woke up, but when I woke up, I was in immense pain. I was in so much pain, and I could feel the banging at my jaw, and I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I think he was like, he had to have been pulling one of my teeth out. I could feel that. And I literally just had to tell myself, just go back to sleep. I was like, please just go back to sleep, because this is so terrible. I'm not going to tell you where I went. Because other than that, which I'm sure was just like I guess like a thing on my behalf, that like maybe I just wake up during anesthesia, which is not a good fucking sign. Hopefully I never have to have a procedure done with anesthesia again, because I don't want to feel it. But I could feel him pulling that tooth. Man, I could feel what the fuck ever was happening. And it was terrifying. So terrifying that I forced myself back to sleep. I couldn't deal with it. But I can't even really recall. I just remember waking up and feeling that terrible pain, and then going back to bed. And then when I woke up again, gauze in my mouth, right? Like this huge wad of gauze in my mouth. I don't understand what's going on. I cannot feel my mouth at all. I can't even. And I don't know why I couldn't feel it, because you know what it is, because I when they did the fillings, they also put the local anesthesia, like with the needle, and I'm sure he had to do a combination of both, like the drip and then the local. And so I'm sure that what I was feeling was actual movement of him, like pulling something out, because that's the only way I would have really felt pain like that, is if it was down towards my nerve, because that's what was that. I mean, that's the only thing I could imagine was that painful, was the actual pulling of the tooth. But other than that, I couldn't feel anything around my mouth, my jaw, like talking. I could barely talk because I couldn't even move my mouth that great. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it went smoothly. They actually they kind of rushed me after everything was done, because I was like, oh man, I can't even get up. I don't even feel like I can walk right now. And I was like, how long do I have to stay here? Because like I'm positive I can't move. And she was like, all right, get in the wheelchair. And I was like, oh, okay. So she kind of like helped me out onto the wheelchair. She wheeled me out to it's a really small facility. It's really small, very cute, quaint, and like not a bunch of people in there. But they wheeled me over to this other room. They brought my boyfriend in, and he came in, and he put my ring back on me. I could not remember that at all. I was like positive I lost my ring until I realized it was on me, and I was like, how the hell did this even get here? I don't know why they had to take my ring off. I don't know. That's just one of those weird things where it's like, y'all ain't doing shit with my hands. You're not doing an X-ray or MRI. Let me keep my shit on. But either way, so he's sitting there with me, and he's looking all worried, and the doctor's telling him all the recovery stuff, because I'm not gonna be able to remember it, unfortunately. They gave me a paper and all that, but it was so seamless, bro. I was in there one day for the CT scan, next day to get the shit removed, and I do not have to go back. I think I went back after a week of healing. So terrible. Let's talk about the healing. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness that you'll only have to ever do it once. Do opt in for them doing all four at once, because never want to do that shit again. That was agonizing. I had to have this fucking ice pack thing on my fucking jaw. It was like a strap over the top of my head and ice packs on my chin. This is where my chin is. But like ice packs on my jaw and chin right here. Frozen solid, bro. And that was the only thing that felt comfortable. I could not eat food. I was drinking protein shakes. The fucking Ensures, beautiful chocolate Ensure. I was drinking chocolate Ensures, and what else did I even fucking eat? Couldn't eat scrambled eggs. They keep saying eat scrambled eggs. That shit hurt. The stitches in my mouth felt so annoying. You could feel all of it. And so, that was fucking aggravating. But I was only drinking Ensures. I was drinking a lot of water. I was drinking a lot of Gatorade to try to avoid sugary stuff. But I mean, I was just drinking fucking protein shakes, and that only has sugar and other milk and shit. But really stay on the hygiene. They gave me like a mouthwash that I need to use. And I didn't brush my teeth for the first day just because my whole mouth still hurt terribly bad. But like after that, I was just brushing as close as I could without hurting myself, and trying to keep on top of all the hygiene, because you don't want any terrible like bad bacteria growing in your mouth while that shit's going on, because you could get it infected. And yeah, obviously, so really stay on top of the hygiene, obviously. And then but once a week passed, even a little bit before a week, the stitches on one side of my mouth fell out. And I feel like that was because of me. I started to push myself to eat things that I knew I shouldn't have been eating, because I was so over drinking Ensures. I think I tried to eat scrambled eggs, and then my fucking stitches came out on one side. But then again, after a week of healing, that's the normal amount of time before the stitches just start coming out. So what the fuck even happened? Yeah, my stitches came out, freaked me out. There's a hole. There's a damn hole there. I had to order a water floss, a water pick, because that's the only thing that will clear that hole out in my gosh mouth. Bro, that sucks. It's even right now, I think it's been like maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks since the procedure. It's probably been like a month. Yeah, a little over a month since the procedure. And I still have to be using the water floss every time I eat, because you don't want anything stuck in the hole. And so, okay, so I think at day 6 or something, day 6 or 7, so like a week, the stitches on one side came out. And then a week later, a whole another week later, 14 days later, after the procedure, the stitches on the other side came out, no fucking holes. Are you kidding me? So I'm sure it was my fault that I messed it up on one side. Maybe I just chew on this side more. But whatever the case, take it very seriously, the healing. It's you only got to do it the one time. Might as well do it well and do it correctly. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't do nothing stupid. You don't want to get an infection, because that shit could literally just, your whole jaw could fall off because you wanted to do something silly and now you got an infection. And yeah, I feel so much better. I couldn't even talk before. I couldn't even open my mouth. I was in so much pain. I was literally so annoyed. Every bit of it was annoying, because it's like the one thing that, like, I don't know, I'm a yapper, bro. And then like being like jaw glued shut now. It's like fucking annoying. But I'm glad. I'm glad I got it all done. It was over $2,000. It wasn't $3,000, but it was over $2,000. And that's quite unfortunate. But it had to be done. And my insurance covered a lot of it. It would have been 4,000, but it was only 2,000. It was like 2,100 maybe. And yeah. So I'm glad I got it done though. And I'm glad it's over. So glad it's over. My boyfriend still has to get his done, and he is, unfortunately, I've kind of swayed him away from doing that, which is sad. But yeah, it's really important. I mean, if you have the means to do it when you're even younger, do it. I'm 23. Doing it at 23, the healing process, fucking aggravating. You know, I could only imagine if you're older, it's going to be worse. You know, that's what the lady was telling me, my hygienist. She was like, you literally have to, you heal faster when you're younger. Just so you know, we're getting debuffs as we get older, sadly. But like, if you can do it when you're young, do it when you're young. You're not going to have the space in your fucking mouth. I really was hoping to keep my wisdom teeth. One of them actually grew in. The top one on the right, I think, that one grew in. And I've been using it. I have to show you. Hold on. Don't get weirded out, okay? Don't get weirded out. Let me make sure there's nothing on here to show. Yeah, I don't think so. This doesn't say the doctor's name or anything. Look at these bad boys. Look at these bad boys. Disgusting. I still haven't taken them out. Look at those. Look at them. Nasty, huh? Or gnarly. These were the top ones. So one of these I was using for a while. I think it was this one. I don't know if you could tell, but I think I was using this one because this one has a lot of blood on it. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, I'll put a blood warning. But like, yeah, because yeah, I was using one apparently. Dang, I wish I could have kept it. But they said if I had kept it, it would have kept waiting for its pair to grow in, and it would have kept bringing me pain because there would have been nothing there, but the bone would still hurt. I don't know. It's real complicated. It's tooth stuff, not me. But yeah, I'm so glad I got these things out. And the bottom ones, they had to crack into a million pieces just to get them out. So I don't have those, unfortunately, but I'm glad they aren't in my body anymore. That's great. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what I've been up to for the last literally month. But I know I've been gone for like half a year, whatever. Don't worry about that. Don't even worry about all that. I'm back. Don't worry about it. But yeah, thank you for watching the videos still. It's nice talking to y'all. If you want to know anything else, or you have any questions about the wisdom tooth or anything, I probably, I could do a whole care system. But I mean, that's only if anybody's interested, because that stuff's sort of like corny and weird. I mean, you could look it up on the internet. But yeah, thank you for watching so much. Yeah, go get your wisdom teeth removed today. Do it now. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see y'all later. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye. Bye. Bye.